Knowing how to prioritize work, making choices about the most important thing to spend our time on, is becoming a critical business skill and indeed life skill. It's the most common problem that leaders and teams ask me to help them solve. Prioritization is basically asking questions like, how do we know we're working on the most valuable thing for the business? Can I successfully manage the intake of new work and know how to prioritize it against existing work? And how do I have conversations with my stakeholders about why we're focusing on one business challenge instead of another? Prioritization gives you focus. It reduces context or task switching and helps you have the confidence to say, no, not right now. In today's demanding business world, you need to make choices to deliver value fast. You simply can't do it all. So the secret to prioritization is understanding value. Value is the commercial reality of why we do what we do. It's also the commercial reality of why you deliver HR and organizational change, as well as projects and business as usual processes. Crucially, by understanding value, you're able to prioritize work, make decisions, demonstrate impact, and even say no or not now. Whether you've delivered value is ultimately decided by your customer, because it's the customer needs, problems to solve, and feedback that define the value you've delivered. So how do you understand value? Well, for HR and people teams, it's all about working product-led. Products create value for groups who have a shared problem, and these products in turn create value for businesses. In product management, this shared problem is also known as jobs to be done. So when we buy a commercial product, such as a mobile phone or an electric car, we buy it because we need to solve a problem or get a job done. So I want the mobile phone so I can stay connected to my friends and family, read emails, and access the news. With an electric car, I want to be able to travel anywhere, anytime, cheaply, and emit fewer emissions. Sales of these commercial products generate value for a business in the form of revenue, loyalty, or sales of other products. So in HR and people teams, the employee experience is the product. And it means that working product-led, you solve people's problems through the employee experience. This generates value such as productivity gains, making working lives easier, career growth, reducing costs, and retaining talent. Some even liken the employee experience to a type of subscription service that needs to keep delighting you and delivering value for you to continue subscribing. Let's take onboarding as the problem to solve and job to be done. Everyone who starts a new job shares similar problems and has a few jobs to get done. They want to contribute from day one. They want to be recognized for their skills and experience, connect well with their manager and team, and understand how to make an impact. On the flip side, the organization also wants to see a return on their investment and to maximize the contribution of this new talent. So if the HR and people team is able to solve these shared problems, value is generated in the form of team productivity, business efficiency, and employee engagement. Value can be measured and tracked to guide prioritization and decision-making. By demonstrating evidence-based impact, the HR employee function is seen as more than just a service. The head of HR strategy at one of our clients put it beautifully when they said, if you're customer-led, you're doing what they ask you to do. If you're product-led, you're providing the solution that they actually need through a product. Once you know the problem to solve, you can determine the value of a specific business challenge. Now you have some criteria on which to make decisions. Problem diagnosis helps you identify the value drivers for this business challenge. By identifying value drivers, you can better evaluate the potential return on investment, ROI, for the project and assess whether it's worth spending time, money, and energy solving the problem. This, in turn, helps you prioritize your work. By understanding the impact of the problem, you can decide if it's more or less important compared to other business challenges or stakeholder requests. Once you've got a sense of value, you can prioritize on two important levels. The first level is what we call the portfolio level. A portfolio monitors multiple projects and BAU in one place. It provides the bigger picture or enterprise view of all the work happening across a team or function. At the portfolio level, you prioritize the big chunks of work by assessing them against value criteria and the effort involved to get them done. The second level is using value to prioritize your project backlog or team Kanban. These are more detailed views in which you prioritize your lists of tasks or activities for specific initiatives. Again, we always need to list backlog items based on value. So, what's the most important and valuable thing to do first? Only then do we consider the effort required to get it done, the skills needed, and the capacity of the team. At any stage, you want to know the most valuable thing to do first, second, third, and so on. To wrap up, prioritization is all about value, and we understand value by knowing the problem to solve. When it comes to delivering work, too often we focus on the what rather than the why. If we do this, we'll tend to prioritize work based only on the effort required, the size of the work to get done, or our current capacity. While all of these are important factors to consider, they must ultimately be assessed in the context of the value that will be delivered. So here are a few questions to ask yourself next time you're prioritizing work. What's the problem to solve or the job to get done? What's the value and how will you measure it? How does the value of this compare to the value of everything else you've already got in your to-do list? It will seem awkward at first, but the more you go through this process, the easier it will get. Make a choice. Focus is about saying no to the other 100 great ideas and possible things to work on.